Hey babies, and how are you all doing? Hope you guys are doing fine. Hope you're doing great. Hope everywhere Marama, hope everywhere Stewa. Welcome back babies. Guys, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell, and also do not forget to give me a huge thumbs up and then share this video. Thank you. So you guys, Faith and Dede were seated together having conversation. When I see them together, I know that you're gonna hear one or two convo with them. But you see this particular conversation, I like it, and the reason why I like it is that Dede wasn't an OES member with this convo. So when they were together, the camera would go to other places and later ensued back on them, and they were already discussing Mensan, the drama that transpired yesterday with Faith and Mensan. And this conversation was also yesterday night after they were back from their independence party, and then they've freshened up and all of that. They were discussing that, and Mensan was listing lots of flaws from what was the name, Faith was listing so many things Mensan had done, how he said from his end that it's accumulated stuff that is making him react to whatever Mensan had done yesterday. And then he even went as far as the Sultana and Mensan shenanigans, where Sultana said that Mensan wanted to, utilize her drunk state. And then he also went far as Ivata and Mensan shenanigans. In my mind, I'm like, baby boy, hold up. How come you're using other people's thinking to calculate for him why actually carried out this outburst yesterday? Now, whilst he was saying all of that, he was not explaining to Dede how Mensan is doing all of this for a reason and yada yada yada. But guess what Dede said? Dede was like, you don't expect him not to complain. For example, she now used herself and said, let's just remove Mensan out of this. I love to cook. That was what Dede said. That I love to cook does not mean I would want to cook all the time. That I enjoy cooking does not mean I would want to cook every freaking time. For Mensan, he has said he enjoyed doing those stuff. You do not expect him to be happy seeing plates littered everywhere. You do not expect him not to complain even when plates are being littered and not complain about it and be like, you guys should not do this. He has the right to complain. Him saying that he find it therapeutic do not mean he will be laughing like laughing jackass because he knows he find it therapeutic. So, oh yeah, use plates anyhow. That is not what it is. And that was what they said. I'm like, baby girl, you are actually, reasonable. Now, this is what we call a reasonable conversation. Dede would have as well choose to be an OES member. Oh, because Faith is saying this, let me accept. Right? But she was not caught doing that. She was not caught doing that. Do not forget, mind you, Dede and Mensan, they've had their own drama, they've had their own fights and disagreements, but she did not utilize on that to start counting on whatever transpired yesterday with Mensan and Faith. But Faith went back counting with Ivata, counting Sultana's own, counting everything. But Dede was still standing her ground to let Mensan know that, Faith know that whatever Mensan did there, he actually has been doing this thing. He actually has been cleaning and doing this. And I feel like somebody doing it, even if, as you said, it's for the camera, even if he is doing it for the camera, doing that for the camera alone deserve a reward. And then Faith was like, and he is getting the reward. How many times do we say thank you to him? How many times do we do this to him? I think Faith was still trying to persist, but Dede was really not having it. She was still dropping her own to let Faith know that Mensan's reaction, he might sound rude to Koyi, but at the same time, the question is, why did Faith carry Koyi's matter on his head like gala? That is the question. But whichever ways, you guys, if you so good to see that Dede did not accept what Faith was saying, she actually had to chip in things to him so that him too would get to realize and be like, yes, he overreacted, because at some point he was like, yes, I know that I have got my flaws or my own mistake, but I feel like Mensan did it or that one. But I love that conversation happened and it was with Dede, because some other persons would have actually added Maggi, salt and add meat to it to make it look like, oh, Mensan is totally wrong or he did something wrong. Someone who loves washing does not mean that you have to just litter the place. So whichever what it was, they had that conversation and then the camera left their convo. And that was that about that conversation. Meanwhile, Faith has been receiving drag on the social space. They were like, oh, that he carried chair to go sit on the kitchen counter, and that is because of he is trying to copy Imisi's scripts, that they are trying to do measure. They are measuring Imisi and Faith's scripts. That like Faith is trying to be like, okay, Imisi would not do this thing more than me. I will do an extra one. Big Uncle says the I'm going to skip the B word, wanted to recreate the Imisi and Apoti scene so bad. You remember when Imisi had that thingy with Faith when she says, Eba mi mu Apotiwa, that is chair where she sat down and they were holding that box like that. Yeah. So they said this is what Faith was trying to recreate. It was so many drags about Faith that Faith is trying to measure is that they are seeing who will do this strategy pass. That is what it's giving. But whichever ways, Mensan and Imisi had conversation where Imisi was trying to tell Mensan to not actually dip whatever Faith had done. That Imisi, what was the name? Mensan was not telling Imisi that, oh, this is what it is. She started explaining to Imisi, maybe I spoke to Connie rudely and I apologized, and because my mood was not good, yada yada yada. He was just explaining everything in his mouth about what happened, and Imisi was telling Mensan to leave Faith, that Faith was just literally looking for his trouble, that he overreacted. That was that display of, because Mensan was like, he now carried chair to sit on top of the kitchen counter, and then Imisi was like, what is the need for that scenario now? What is that display? That he's just trying to be dramatic, that Mensan should let him be. And by the way, Mensan is one person that would always have, that also try to have feedback when other people are trying to do things to him, yada yada. We're just having that convo. At the point, Mensa was saying he has never involved in group fight before, that any fight he wants to do is individual, but for Faith to come and start tagging him a street boy and all of that, that he doesn't blame Faith, that it is his dad he blamed. That part he spoke about his dad has got people laughing and talking on the social space. They're like, Mensa, wait till your papa do you. You can see here from Comrade. Comrade said, Mensan, why are you blaming your father for the insult you received in the house? Wahala no be like bicycle. Maybe he needs to explain more to us for us to know. Meanwhile, it is trending on the social space that Mensan is literally playing the PTFC card that people are saying Imisi is playing. You know, it is trending on the social space that Imisi is trying to play pity card, which I have always said I do not believe that, because she's one chaotic person in the house. Playing a pity card should not be from a chaotic person. So Bolanle says Mensan's game is what people are pinning on Imisi. I am not even a fan of Faith, but what he said was true, even though he was too blunt with it. This other one says, nah, him they do pity this year. Good boy says he has noticed that the camera is on him. So people feel like Mensa is just playing a game, a pity game. All right, that being said, I'm going to get it from Kenna. Kenna says, Biggie is definitely calling them according to the last week's voting results. Finalists who weren't voted for, Mensan, Sultana, and K-Bobo. Then finalists who were voted for, Imisi, Konyi, Dede, Faith, Isabella, then Kola and Jason. Well, me, I don't know how you people are trying to check this one. I don't care. What matters to me right now is how far you're going for your fave this week, because this is the ultimate week, and that's on period. Meanwhile, the diary session the housemates had is, staring brows. Adedoyin says, Faith say Imisi would have been evicted instead of Joanna. Has she not had immunity? Who go help us tell Faith? So people were trending it on the social space that they need to let Faith know that Imisi is a big name this season. All right, Lover of Beautiful Things says, best part of Kola's diary session, he mentioned who had impact on him. Definitely Imisi topped the list. Called her 4 names affectionately and then spoke very well of Sabrina, Mide, Bright, Zita, and Ruboy. He didn't mention anyone else. Relax night, your boy is self-aware. So these are Kola fans jubilating that Kola did not mention Dede's name amongst the people that has impacted his life. And in my mind, I'm like, you guys are just not nice. So you're happy Kola did not mention Dede's name. So now they are like, because they are feeling like Kola is acting mumu and Dede is using Kola. So now the fans are happy that you guys would think Kola do not know what he is doing, but he is actually a smart one. That is what the fans of Kola are saying, that for him not to mention Dede, it actually means a lot. Dede Blush says, same as Dede, she no mention Mr. CNN name. And then Ogena says, tell them all, because yesterday I was wondering why they were crashing out over something we have been watching since week 1. Nothing new or deep. The focus is to take Kola to the top. He deserves it all. Okay, Chinwe says, you all knew Kola is playing his games. You all are here insulting Dede for nothing. I am happy Dede clocked him long time ago. So now it is giving the feeling is mutual from both parties, because Dede did not mention Kola in her session. Kola did not also mention Dede. So that means it's just 2 players playing their games. Akoni says, Kola might not be perfect and no one is, but he is definitely a great guy. I believe the teams, Imisi and Kola, should allow destiny to take its course as regards their friendship after the show. Their friendship is genuine. We will talk more about that. Okay, so you guys, these are the fans who feel like Kola and the Mrs. friendship should not be interrupted by fans. They should let them do them. Getting to hear Kola's diary session and how he said he would want this friendship with the Mrs. to grow from the outside, that fans should not try to impute anything or stir dramas. You guys know what fans are good at now. So they're already pleading that this should not happen. But whichever ways, we would see how everything goes. For now, I'll be dropping my voice to leave the rest for you guys in the comment section. Please and please, if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly do so. Thank you. It doesn't hurt. You don't have to pay for it. It's just a click on the subscribe button and you're done. And also do not forget to like and share this video. Thank you so much for always sailing with me. Mwah.